Hello everyone, this is Diane. I am here to talk about the next journal project, and I actually did a video yesterday, but I'm not going to use it because the camera angle wasn't good. I had to raise my camera a little bit because these covers are big, tall, and so yesterday's video I had too much cut off of the covers and wasn't enjoyable to watch, I think. So what I did in yesterday's video was just show you the file folders that I had Mod Podged magazine images. This is a sheet music image, which is just so pretty and it looks ethereal. And it's got scrapbook paper behind it. We have a magazine cover here and, oh, not here. A seed catalog cover from 1916, and this image, an ad for Ivory soap from a magazine. Here is another the American magazine cover, and that one. This was just a page from a magazine, and there was a color picture on the back, so the color bled through, which is okay. I mean, these are crinkled. You know, they're not like perfectly smooth images because I don't care. That's the look that I wanted with these. This is from a 1920s magazine, I believe. Isn't that cute? And so I will add some fabric, and I also sewed along the top and bottom edges. So what I need to do next is put a piece of fabric down the spine, and with this one, this is the one I'm basing these journals off. This was one I made for myself a few years ago, and I had quilted fabric. This is a quilt remnant, or not a remnant, a sample from a sampler book, but I don't have any more of that sampler fabric left. So I do have this piece, which looks like a manufactured quilt comforter, and I got a collection. That was my dryer. I got a collection of quilt pieces from a source on Etsy a while ago, and this was part of it, and I love the colors with this, so I'm going to cut a strip of this and sew it along the spine. So if I just put it in half and sew it, would look like that. Or I might want to trim it a little and make it a little bit narrower. Cut off some of this white. I don't want to cut too much off. I think what I would have to do is to sew this closed. This one has a seam, but if I sew this edge closed, then when I fold it, then the top piece won't pull back and reveal the batting. So I think I'll sew all around it before I sew it, or even just glue it to the front. I sewed this down. This had a lot more stitching, so the fabric didn't pull away from the batting. So I'll do that, and then you see I have some leather pieces on the corners here. But instead of leather, I cut some pieces. They are all ready for us. Oh, here they are. Some tapestry fabric. I cut a 2-inch square, and then I used this to just cut around the pieces, and then I cut the pieces in half. So I can do that right here with you. I think I want one with a little more color on the front. All these little tapestry threads are just floating around here. Also, what I did yesterday was, not on video, but I selected papers and cut them, and I started working on the pages. I constructed a page and added a pocket, but you're not going to see it, but I'll show you what I did. But I'll have to do it again anyway, so maybe I'll just record it again with a different page. And then I'll just glue on the opposite side. So I have added all the things I was supposed to add. The fabric on the edges of both journals, the tapestry corners, and then the quilted part. Now I had to just glue this on because I couldn't fit this onto my sewing machine where the needle would be here without bending this cover. So I sewed around the pieces and then I just glued them on. So now I want to finish up by adding some metal pieces, and I've got these little inexpensive pieces. These all came in one set from Amazon, and I got them quite a few years ago. I can see if I can locate them so I can link them for you. I remember back then everybody was using little pieces of metal like this from a place called Butterbee Scraps. I don't know if it was on Etsy. I never ordered from them. But I looked on Amazon for, and I forgot what I searched for, what I typed in to get these, but I put in a search and I found this collection, and it was very reasonably priced. They're very thin. They would bend quite easily, but they work for what I need them for. I just don't use them very often. So I'm going to put a long piece here, and you see I have this piece of lace here, and I don't think I have any of this left. I just looked. I didn't locate it, but I like that shaped look for the lace. So I did pull out a few things to see what we might have here. Like I could probably cut something from this to make that, to do what I want. And I also have this, which if I used this, I would do without the metal. I would just put the lace here and glue some seam binding behind it, because that's how I secured the tie underneath this stuff. So I could just do that, but let me see what's in here. These are lace appliques. I have this pink bow, which would be really nice with this cover. But again, I wouldn't want to use the metal piece unless I did two bows, and then I could put something in the center. not the piece I thought I picked up. Something like that. I'll go with this, or, well, let me see what I can do with this. If I just had 3 pieces and then this, that would work. Or even 4. Let's cut some and see. Yeah, I think I like it with the 4. And I have pink seam binding here. Going to trim off all these little nubbins that were attached to the lace. I've spent quite a bit of time on these covers today. Even though these journals will have fewer pages, the pages are big, and the cover, even though it's one signature, what do I want? I want that in the middle, is more time consuming than the covers that I make with a book. But I like the end results. Now I'm going to use Crystal Effects to glue that down. Actually, it's Glossy Accents. I think Crystal Effects is the Stampin' Up! Brand of this same stuff, which is what I used to use when I used to go to Stampin' Up! Parties all the time. This takes longer to dry than something like Fabri-Tac. I don't have any corner shapes. Not enough anyway. Okay, here's some. I didn't put them on the back on that other journal, so I can use these. I have enough. I might have to lay something on it that would press down all the edges. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. So we can turn our attention now to pages. Work on some pages. I've got my pages started right here. I took this scrapbook paper, and I should not have done it, but I cut this to 8.5, no, 8.25. The covers are 8.5 by 11. And I should have just folded my 12 by 12 paper so that it extended like this far. But I didn't do that. I cut it to the page size and figured I'd hinge them together. But anyway, I took a cutoff piece and glued it to one edge of the scrapbook paper and then folded it over. And it became a pocket. So I did this on video, but like I said, that video was at a bad angle. So I will end up doing that, something similar anyway, in further on in the journal. So this is for the other journal, this page. And I did it the right way this time. I just folded this page over and then glued this on to be an extension of the page, and it formed a pocket on this side. You can see I glued this to some lined paper, like this one. Then embellished. So these two pages are done except for the inserts. And I will just set them out of my way so they're safe. The next page is just going to be these instrument, they're both flute books, covers. And they were cut apart, so I'm just going to hinge them. I made them a little smaller just so that they're not full-size page. I just wanted them to be smaller. There's a staple here, but the prongs are underneath this tape, so I'm leaving it. They're not sharp or pointy. So I'm just going to glue these to this strip to be a hinge. And that's all I'm going to do. Fold the hinge, and then that's the page. And I might come back and do something later, but today that's what I'm doing. I'll let the glue dry before I fold it. I'm just going to trim these a little bit more. Unless I already did. Did I already cut these? No, they're bigger than I want. All right, so the pages are cut 8.25, and I'm going to cut this down to like 7.5. I want this to stay. It's just a lovely old stain. But this has a date on it, 5/21/58, so I think I want to keep that. I'll keep that instead. Oh, there goes my blade falling right off. So I will cut part of that off. So this is measuring, I'm going to cut it to 10.25. So this will be 10.25. I'm going to leave that discoloration, the aging there. What did I say I cut this? 7.5. And then I'll need a strip of paper to be 10.25. I thought I had one already, but I lost it. Because that was yesterday, and I've been moving things around since then. I wasn't able to get back in here yesterday. And that was my own choosing. I had to go to the dentist, and then I went to the store for my mom because she just wanted a couple of things. I was taking things to her anyway. I had to get her quarters from the bank so she could go use the laundry that's in her building takes quarters, and something I ordered for her from Amazon. So I had to take those to her anyway. So I figured I called her to see if there was anything she wanted while I was out and about. So she told me a couple things she could use, and I took them to her. My sister and her husband were there, so I got to visit with them too. And when I came home, my plan was to get some more work done down here, but my daughter was home. It was her day off. Her husband was at work, and he would be home in an hour and a half or so from when I got home. And I thought, I need to spend some time with her, because today was supposed to be her day off also, but she had to work. It's vacation time, so she has to keep working on her days off most weeks to, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that, or fold it. It dries fast. So that's another page. Anyway, I knew she had to work today, so I thought I just want to spend some time with Judy. So I messaged her and asked if she wanted some company, and she said sure. So I went over, and she was working on a jigsaw puzzle. So I helped her a little bit. Okay. I have to see what I'm supposed to be doing here. I have to look at this because I don't remember. So I could have come down here to work, but I opted to go spend some time with my daughter instead. And I think that was a great choice. And before I left there, my son was at my house calling me, wondering where I was. He was dropping something off for me, and I had to give him some money for it. So I'm going to put this peach butterfly trim on the edge of this page. Isn't that pretty? These are Miss America contestants back in the 30s or 20s. So I got to see my mother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my daughter, and my son, and my granddaughter, because Layla was with him. And I'd really like to get several pages done today in both journals. But I've been spending all my time working on the covers. And let me see, looks like yep. So I'll hinge this to another page. And then we'll make a pocket. Okay, now I see what all these pieces were for. So this I wanted to cover up. Actually, this says, "Here she comes, Miss America." So I want to leave that. So I should have put it this way. That's the way I wanted it. This needs to be hinged. So I guess I'll put the hinge on this side, since I've already got glue there. This is probably the hinge. They are hinged now. And I can leave this here so you can read the text. And whoever buys this book, if they want to cover that up, they certainly can. But I do want to cover this. So I have this pretty piece of scrapbook paper to put on that page. I'll use this again. Well, I used it yesterday, but you didn't see that video. Okay, so that's that. And then I wanted to make a pocket here and put her on it. She's advertising hosiery. And because she's advertising hosiery, I would rather cut off just the top part of her head than her foot, because this is the focus. So I'll just cut this to the right height when I know how much I have to lose. It's difficult using these gorgeous images from the very old magazines that are so tall. Oh, it's fine. I put her on here and then just folded that to see what I thought, and I think it looks okay. She's leaning on something, so I wanted her on the edge, but I want the pocket to be a little bit wider because I want to cut this to the shape of her to be the pocket. So I will move her out a bit. I'm wondering if I need to have something for her to put her knee on. This does look a little bit too skinny, so I think I want to add it to, just flip this over and add it here to make it a little bit bigger. And I'll tuck this in here so I remember to make a tag with it. I did get out some little pieces to embellish with, and I'm pretty sure I got like a little label with numbers on it. I'm not seeing them. Oh, here's one. Thought I got some out. It says May 4th, 1925. This was probably a 1930s catalog, but close enough. I just want it for an embellishment. I could use her if I put the pocket on this side and cut this part off, and that would give me a nice shape on that edge. And she's nice and tall. Let's see how that looks. Could use this plaid because it goes with the colors. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna cut around her. I'm moving her up so this cutout part will be gone. And we still have this happening down here, but that's okay. Yeah, that's a pretty skinny pocket. So I think I'll do what I did with that last page, and I'll just add more to this. I think it looks better having her up against this edge, but if I add another pattern back here, it won't look so odd that she's just hanging out, cut off in the middle of the page, you know? Let's try it and see. First, I'm going to glue this down. Okay, and I will add the little number piece if I find it, or I'll just find a new one. I'm not going to look for it right now. Okay, so there's that page. And I forgot the lace. Got to do that. That's pretty. I like the peach with that green. Next page is a sprayed page. And we're just going to collage on these. So that's another thing I did in yesterday's video. I pulled several pages that I wanted to spray. And I did that on video, but you missed it. So I'll just do some embellishing. So I have my ladies. I'm going to put a word at the top up here. It says Fancy Goods. And I stamped it on a light blue patterned cardstock. This was just in my stash. I had a bunch of stamped words, and I looked through them to find some that would go. It would look nice here, but it blends in too much, so maybe I'll put that there. And maybe put Paris here, covering up that word, information. And this is an Amity Bloom number. If you didn't know, she has that set of numbers in her Etsy shop, digital set. And then I have these embossed pieces, like with embossing powder, that were in my stash. This is just a little piece. So maybe I'll add something to it. See if I have something else that would go with that little piece. I thought about this piece It looks like stitches, like a corset or a crudely stitched seam. Yeah, okay, why not? So I'll glue all these down and I'll be right back. All right, these are the sprayed papers and the collages that I just glued on, and I'm doing nothing else to these pages right at this moment. I went ahead and did a little more work, and there's one more page that I want to show you on camera before I finish the video. So this is wallpaper. These are both wallpaper pages, and I took these long illustrated fashion ladies and glued them to some cardstock that I cut with my curved cutter. I added some vintage trim to the tops and a little bit of the German measuring tape. This is a wider pocket because she has her arms spread out, so it needed to be wider. And then I added these pockets to the back. This will be a nice big card in there and in there. There was a lot of space here, so I used this stamp that I haven't used in a long time, and it looks really pretty on it. And the insides are just left plain. Then I had a bunch of papers that I just didn't do anything to yet. Anyway, these are some sprayed dot matrix papers, and these pages are from a book about how to grow lilies. And then I have these lace papers. It's just going to be a page in the journal. You could, how do you open them? You could glue a paper to them that you can write on, or just glue some ephemera embellishments, or just leave it as a decorative page. And these are pages from art illustration books. And these are from a vintage ledger. It's not actually a ledger. It doesn't have ledger lines, but it was a very large book. So those are just unembellished pages. And the next page I have is an atlas page, and I added this pad of 5 pages. I've got 5 sheets here, and I used my, what are these things called? I got a whole box of them at a flea market. Paper fasteners. So I have colored ones too, but I'm not sure where they are right now, and I found these, so this is what we're going with. So I did this, and it is done so that the back of the prong fastener is on the back side of this map page. So if you use up all of these note pages, you can just open up the prongs. You have to slide this metal piece. Well, maybe it's not so easy. Maybe you won't want to change it out. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and make the next one, and we'll figure that out. So here are the papers. I just took an 8.5 by 11 colored lined paper and cut it in half, and then trimmed it to make it shorter. And this is the piece with the sliders, and it has the holes. So I put that at the top. Oh, wait. I should have a piece of paper cut. Here it is. So this is what I will punch holes in. So I'll put this on here to mark my holes. And I'll put this on top of my pad of papers, so it's on the front and the back. And I will use my paper punch to punch holes. And I didn't want this to be right up at the top of the page, so I moved it down. But the problem with that is I do have a crocodile. I could have used that. I can't use my paper punch that far down. So I used my hammer and my little hammer to punch the holes in the paper. But I could use my crocodile. I don't use it very often, so... Oh, I see it. So I will put this... Let's turn it this way. Since these are sideways, it doesn't really matter, but these are right side up now. So we'll do it this way. And I'll put my paper here. And make a mark where I want to punch holes. Make sure I only do one page, not both. Hope they're big enough. I think they're smaller holes than my paper punch. So I'll put this here, all ready to go. Take my little slider piece and, no, the prong piece. I need the prong piece. So I'll fold them up perpendicular so they'll go right through the holes. And then slide these onto the prongs. And then before you fold the prongs down, you put this piece on. That is a tight fit. Then you have these slider pieces, so slide them all the way over to one end and fold the prong down, and then slide the pieces over. Then fold this down, and then slide the sliders. This is, no wonder it's a tight fit. I have two prongs together. I have two of these pieces together. They're really stuck together. There we go. That might work better. I wonder if that's what happened on the other one. I don't think so. Okay, let's do this again. This box that I bought, I believe it's vintage, but I think all of the pieces are in it, and it came with 50. Got to turn it the right way. That's a much better fit. Fold the prong down, slide your sliders over, fold the prong down, and then slide the sliders back. So technically, if you want to change your paper out, you should be able to, yeah, that slides easily. And then, you know, slide them both over, pull the prong up, slide them over, pull the other prong up, change the paper. You can use the holes as a guide to punch your holes in your papers, and then put it back together. Let me check this one out. That's only one, but I don't know why it fits so tight. Because I can't move it at all now. But anyway, that's how you put them together. And it's fun to get to use stuff like that you don't use very often. And that's where I'll leave you. We do have some more pages to do. I don't know if I'll do them on camera or not, but I have another scrapbook paper that's going to require some building. You have a pocket there, and then this paper with another shaped edge. It's not a pocket this time, it's just an edge. And some dyed crafty pattern paper. This collector book page and some more dyed teacher's page, a ledger, and then this, what is it? Book jacket. So that's what I have left to do. And then I'll be able to, you know, get these journals put together and put in my shop. So I'm not sure if there will be another video working on pages or not. You'll just have to come back and see. I will see you in the next video, and I hope you're having a creative day. Bye.